Hello everyone, it's been 16 days that Dele Farotimi was abducted by the Nigerian police in his office in Lagos and taken all the way to Ekiti to be charged for a crime that does not exist as a crime in Ekiti State. How? All because of what? That Dele Farotimi wrote a book talking about the criminal justice system in Nigeria and documented the corruption that has happened all in it. And he mentioned he mentioned lots of names. He was unafraid to mention names. And one of those names is one of those people who are revered, the untouchables. And that is Mr. Afe Babalola, a 95-year-old legal luminary. He dared to mention and put out the role that he has played in corrupting the Nigerian justice system. And of course, like you all know, it is understandable that Mr. Afe Babalola will be angry. We want to protect his name. But you know, what did he do? He used the Nigerian police that is a willing tool of oppression to carry him all the way from Lagos State to take him to Ekiti State, where Afe Babalola is from and where he wields a lot of power. You heard that right, a lot of power. And there, they're doing what they do best and exactly what Mr. Dele Farotimi has written in his book, The Criminal Justice System in Nigeria. That's the justice system in Nigeria that is criminal. Yes, we are seeing it play. But I just came across a write-up that Mr. Dele Farotimi did on his Facebook page. And this was written on the 9th of December, 2019. So we are talking 5 years ago. And the end of it, he was making demands for 2 other people who had been arrested, whom that police had been used, the way they are being used now, to keep them in jail. And those people were Agba Jalingo and Omoyele Sowore. And today, 5 years after, we are all demanding for Mr. Dele Farotimi. One of the things that we all must remember is that as long as Mr. Dele Farotimi is in captivity, because yes, he's in captivity. This is not about being in prison. He was captured. He was abducted. The Nigerian police, just the way bandits or kidnappers or terrorists will go into places and abduct someone, was exactly what they did with Mr. Dele Farotimi. And in 16 days. Let me come and read this article because he said the power of symbols. I had determined that I wasn't going anywhere today. I was going to spend the day ensconced in my home writing and generally avoiding the insane traffic that has become part of our daily existence as residents of Lagos. I immediately swung into action, seeking to avoid having to attend the only engagement that I had hitherto committed to attend, the Daily Reports Town Hall meeting. I will spare you the ingenious excuse that I offered the organizer. Suffice to say that the Nigerian factor featured prominently in my WhatsApp message to him at the crack of dawn. Such was my desperation not to leave my house that I spun a tale that even Uncle Lai would have applauded. Remember, this was the time that Lai Mohammed was our minister of information, and you know a lot of people renamed that his name Lai to Lai Mohammed. I was enjoying the purchase piece until I saw the reminder about Black Monday on Aisha Yusuf's timeline. Yes, that's me. And so that was the period that I was doing Black Monday. And we're calling on Nigerians to come out every day to wear black, to signify our displeasure at the fact that citizens were being killed all over the country and the then incompetent government did nothing. Now we not only have an incompetent government, we have an illegitimate government that rigged its way into office. And then I could no longer, I'm going back to Dele Farotimi's write-up, and he said, and then I could no longer enjoy the quiet comfort of my home. I was reminded of Agba Jalingo, Omoyele Sowore came to mind, and I was reminded of the countless entombed alive in cells and dungeons captives in the war that the Nigerian state has declared on its own citizen. And the war is still going on. And today, Dele Farotimi has become its latest victim. The question that I asked you before I continue reading Dele Farotimi's write-up that he wrote 5 years ago is that who is next? You might think you can escape. You don't talk. You don't hold government accountable. You are not an activist. You are not an advocate. You're just minding your business. But Nigeria has a way of coming after even those who are minding their business. I took another look at the invitation and the topic intended for discussion, Nigeria, a nation on the cliff edge, and I could not find any more peace in staying at home. The dreaded hours in traffic no longer mattered. The unwanted discomfort paled into insignificance compared to the pains that I am aware that the several captives are enduring, and I was determined to venture out wearing black in solidarity with them and in mourning the death of democracy in Nigeria and the birth of full-blown democracy. I'm partial to my white shirts. The monotonous uniformity of the plain white shirt is perfect for my lack of interest in spending valuable time preening in front of a mirror, and I would typically wear white shirt about 4 to 5 times a week. In a week, I owned only one black shirt purchased on the fly months ago for my friend's 50th birthday party, and I had bequeathed it to my spindly framed 14-year-old. For today, there was a role reversal. I borrowed back my shirt, which I had given up without the consent of the owner, who had gone to school. All decked out in black from head to toe, plus including the adornments that were invisible to the eyes, I checked myself out in the mirror, and then I realized what must be done. I'm not combing my hair or beard until Agba and Showore are freed from their unjust detention, I announced to my wife. And I could hear her unvoiced and inaudible groan. Her husband has yet again embraced his insanity. But the supportive and loving wife that she is, she offered me her full support and understanding, even as she expressed the hope that Buhari shall soon repent and not let her endure seeing a dreadlocked black man in her bed. In protest against Obasanjo's state agenda, I grew an afro, refusing to visit the barber until he left power. When I tarried for what I believed was becoming inexcusably longer than expected in finishing my book, I vowed not to shave until the book was done. Today, I've taken a vow not to comb my afro and beard until the unlawful captives are freed. You know, that it really turned into dreadlocks, if you all remember. The Nigerian state is murderous. It is systemically so. We even coined a phrase for one of the many evidences of its bloodthirstiness. We labeled it judicial murder, when the Nigerian state killed Kensaro Wiwa and the other Ogonika agitators. I have witnessed policemen shoot students and murder them in cold blood during the peaceful demonstration. I saw Kunle Sonowo felled in Lasu by a bullet that could only have come from a gun within the school premises. I have found the head of a secret cult in the office of a ranking member of the university administration in a manner that left me in no doubt as to the chumminess between the parties. I'm familiar with the putrefaction of the Nigerian state, and I have had no illusions about it. But this is different. In the same democracy for which countless numbers died, were maimed, jailed, and dehumanized, I have witnessed a government elected on the fraudulent mantra of change, completely bereft of the most basic respect for the rights of the citizens we advertise as a democracy. But our government is the most lawless entity in the land, and its lawlessness is mirrored in all areas of our national life. Nigeria has slid into state-sponsored anarchy. The black I wear today is not intended to mourn the evil and exceedingly unjust state called Nigeria. The black I wear is to mourn the souls lost to the bet of Frankenstein riding roughshod over us all. I mourn because the evidence would suggest that they have died in vain. I have worn black to also mark the probable death of the Nigerian nation of our dream, the hope of which Buhari has all been asphyxiated. Free Agba Jalingo today, free Omoyele Sowore today, and he signed the DF. And I say today, free Dele Faro to me now.